For 30 years and more, through peace and war, in fair Judea where we lay our scenes, Yochanan, son of Simon Maccabee, has ably ruled and has kept his land secure by the grace of God.
And the labors of his wife.
5 sons has he, who are now grown to men.
Ha'ir Atika, Yerushalayim, this ancient city of Jerusalem, mother of faith and bride of history, city of gold adorned with ruby light, now hushing with the setting of the sun, at peace, the sound of weeping is yet to come.
Weep not, my lady, all men come to this. I only go the way of all the world. Here is our firstborn. Come, Aristobulus, give me your hand. Alexandra, come, help my wife.
Gladly, my lord. Please, mother, rest a while.
I need no rest, if I may ease, my lord.
I thank you for your pains, but now you may leave off. My time is at an end, and I must speak. Come, Avshalom, you shall serve as scribe. See that my statement is truly writ. Be careful not to add nor omit one word from that which I declare tonight.
And do you have a word to spare for me?
Who is it speaks and dares address me so?
Yanai, your long and least regarded son. In the Greek, I am called Alexander.
And who did call you here? For I did not.
All of Judea knows that Yochanan dies. So I, from exile in the Galilee, have come to meet my father at his end, and to beg his pardon for what grave offense he sent me from his house while still a babe.
Be grateful that, unlike your friends the Greeks, I did not expose you on a rock.
I thank you then for your kind gift of life. But might I know what curse hangs o'er my head?
Content you that I suffer you to stay, and with your brothers you shall hear my final will. I never sought the title of king, nor would accept it, but many did entreat. I only hoped to serve the people's good, to judge well, and to keep my nation safe. Judea is at peace. Long may it be so. And to this end I now declare my final will. It is not an easy burden that I lay down, and the one who takes it up must bear its heft, though not be crushed, nor ever shrug it off. Patience, temperance, justice, and courage, these loyal bearers will help support the weight. And the one that I have chosen to succeed is thus endowed, and most richly so. So, as I end my tenure and my life, I pass my worldly powers to my wife.
What?
Be silent. Take my ring and seal those words.
Why her, when you have sons to follow you?
Our custom does confer on you that right, but love compels the choice that I have made. And never think you lack your father's love. Many years ago, I had a vision that chilled a proud and doting parent's heart. I dreamed that were you to take my place, within the year your own soul would depart.
I have no fear of dreams. I'll take the risk.
It is not yours to take. It is mine to give. Your mother shall rule here, and you shall live.
The nations will mock us and judge us weak.
A woman, come alive through birth's travail, is like a soldier hardened in a war, and can bear more than many warriors could. The beast that took my sister to wife, and slew my father and my brothers too, as captive took my mother to his fort, and displayed her there on his ramparts high, as I laid siege to his mighty walls below. Just as I was about to win the day, he flailed the tender flesh from off her bones. So I left off to spare her further pain. But she cried out, fight on, let me die. Do not let me live unavenged. But I could not bear her pain. I lacked the strength. So I withdrew my forces and raised the siege. And to my great shame, she died there, a captive still. What kind of fool calls such a woman weak? As my mother was, your mother is.
But father...
Save your words. Save your words and take your leave. My final words are for her alone.
Brother, what think you of our father's will?
An ill will, and so ill will I bear it.
But will you bear it?
That is to be seen. And if I would oppose it, would you stand beside me as my strong right hand, as we have so often stood together in battle?
You honor me, my brother, but I pause. Would not defiance breach our people's laws?
When I decide, no law will hold me back. We have more to speak of. Walk with me.
Oh, Rachel, did you see my husband's face? It's clear he takes offense at this decree.
If he should seek to take his father's place, his rise would bring great honor to yourself.
My husband, in his fury, may forget his duty to his mother and his sire. Let me alone a while that I might think upon the safest way to quell this fire. His rights arise by accident of birth, not by the merit that his father earned. Honor is cheap when won by cast of lots, a glittering prize, yet brittle like fool's gold. Yet there are those who value such trifles. Envy is the nursemaid of enemies.
I see our elder brothers do conspire. Would that be good or bad for us, you think?
Can you not see what stands there before your eyes? He who aspires to take our father's place is like a hound that smells a bitching heat and strains against the rope that holds him back.
2 ropes. The father's life, our mother's law.
He'd vault our mother's back to mount his horse. He thinks the world conspires against his due. Falsely he paints his friends as false to him, and spares not those whose blood or bed he shares.
Is he unhappy with his pretty wife?
His wife could never give my brother's sons. He takes it as a personal affront, and beats her like an ass that will not bear, as though she suffers from a stubborn womb.
Why does our brother not divorce her then?
She's the heiress to a great estate. By spurning her, he'd lose her property.
And she is like the one the Proverbs praise. Far more than rubies is her worth to him. Her prudence brings his house prosperity. She oversees his servants and his fields. Her hands are never idle, dawn to night, and always open to a needy cause. Her charity earns praises in the gates.
To the lady's beauty and her virtue. I see I find the bottom of my cup. Excuse me while I go to fill it up.
Husband, may I have leave to speak a word? I know your father's will displeases you, but for the sake of peace, I beg forbear to move against your mother. She is old, and nature will in time give you the place that you believe should now be yours by right.
I will not hear you speak of this again.
Good night, my lord and love, until we meet. Swift be your passage to the world to come. I will attempt to carry out your will and dutifully report when we are one. Now let his body be buried in peace. His name live throughout the generations.
Baruch Dayan Ha'emet, blessed be God, the true judge.
Please, Alexandra, fetch your brother here. I wish the counsel of the Pharisees.
Come, take him up and bear him to his tomb.
Lord Eleazar, I have news for you. Yochanan is dead. They take him to his tomb.
And will Aristobulus be his heir?
No, Mariamne takes her husband's place. She sent for Simeon, the Pharisee.
Come to me first if there is further news. We Sadducees have struggled to attain the favor of Yochanan and the court, and now we risk its loss. His pious wife may well give the Pharisees support. The nation mourns your noble family's loss.
Our family thanks you for your kind concern.
Too many risks accompany defiance. I'll go and make a suitable alliance.
Our days of deepest mourning now have passed. Too few to mark too great a loss. My heart still weeps. I gladly would retire into my chamber, there to think on him, who was the fixed center of my life. But I may not. Duty compels me here. Let us attend to business of the day. In recent years, my husband sometimes put the interests of the state above the law, which often happens in a time of war. He was encouraged by the Sadducees, who have more faith in arms than in our God. My aim is to restore our former ways, and to that end have asked the Pharisees to list the needed changes to be made. How dare you come to me in such array? What mean you by this insult to the peace?
Our father was enfeebled at the end, his judgment clearly not what it had been. So to preserve our people and our state, I now assume the mantle he laid down.
My son, would you defy your father's will?
His will was that our country should be strong, our borders well defended against our foes. Syria has been restive as of late, and Egypt seeks to regain her ancient fief. What do you know of soldiers or of war? Your place is at the hearth, not in the field. Wield you the spindle, and leave the sword to me.
Though I may be too weak to bear a sword, your father thought me fit to guard the land. Borders are not preserved with arms alone, but with diplomacy and with fair trade. Your father's counsels I did much attend. Our pillow talk was of affairs of state. For my own sake most gladly would I give this task to you, and happily would retire to spindle and to hearth as you suggest. But that was not your father's wish, and in this, I believe, his judgment was the best.
If Judea is by a woman led, will not the nation scoff and bear us scorn?
But Laodice over Jordan reigns, queen of the Gileadites and their domains. In Ptolemais there is Queen Selene, most able keeper of her city's walls. In Egypt, which you deem a worthy foe, Queen Cleopatra rules, third of that name.
And she deposed her son, her rightful heir. I shall not suffer you to do the same. Now say that you will yield to me my place, or force me to compel by right of arms. Who here stands with me and who against?
I stand with you, my brother, against the world.
Such ready service earns rich reward. Antigonus, dear brother and friend, you shall be second only to the king.
Your family is not of David's house, yet you presume to wear King David's crown.
Nor are we of Zadok's seed, and our father took the high priest's place in all temple rites.
And that was a grave offense against the law.
You Pharisee may spare your wasted breath. I care not for your quaint and dusty ways. A king should make the laws, not laws the king.
Now you have surely earned the fate your father saw.
Do not assume my feelings for my wife will be enough to spare her brother's life.
Once did a woman lead our people well. Deborah was a judge and general too. She led an army against the Canaanites, and with Barak they swept down Mount Tabor and put the Canaan soldiers to the sword.
Those were primitive, unsettled times, before we lived in cities ruled by kings. My precedent is nearer to the point. A daughter born of brazen Jezebel took for herself great David's royal throne, and set out to destroy his royal line. The temple priests had this usurper slain. Never has woman ruled this nation since.
Is this the logic of the learned Greeks? One woman disinherits all her sex?
Enough of this. Tell me no more tales. To Barras' fortress take her, and them too.
What have we done to earn our prison cells?
Too slow to pledge support, and now too late. But you, my mother, may make amends. Declare to all it was our father's wish, that I should take his place and wear his crown, and you may sleep tonight at peace in your own bed.
At peace. Your father's shade would haunt my dreams. No, I will not swear false to suit your schemes.
To prison, then, until you change your mind.
My husband, stone walls are poor advocates. If free, then she may witness how you rule and find you worthy as your father's heir.
Hunger is a most able orator. It moves those who cannot be swayed by words. It opens the gates of cities under siege and bends the backs of the stubbornly straight.
Our mother has not earned so cruel a fate.
A show of mercy much becomes a king.
I have decided. No more challenge me. lest you desire to lodge in Barris Fort. It seems you have forgotten once again the duty of a wife to mind her tongue.
Wait, Sadducee. I'll have a word with you.
At your disposal.
If I could dispose, you would no more be seen within these walls. You, Eliezer, have a serpent's tongue. You wormed your way into my father's trust, and now you hiss into my brother's ear and drip venom down my mother's throat. Watch where you slither, snake. Beware my boots.
Soldiers should never play at politics. They lack the necessary subtlety.
Forgive me, but I could not come before.
There is nothing to forgive, my daughter.
They told me that I could not bring you food, but they would not presume to search me here. I have a little bread and olives too, a few figs and some cheese, all that would fit.
Bless you, my child, but it is too late for me.
Never too late. One bite will give you strength quickly before he rips it from your hands.
How fare my sons?
Antigonus is well. We hear he has won victories in the north and stretched our borders to a great extent. Rich cities has he taken and much gold. A festival is planned for his return.
And is the king not also on campaign?
He was, but came home early from the war.
Wounded, was he?
No, but most deathly ill. He coughs up blood. No doctor knows the cause. He tells them, though it shames me to admit, that you have cast a spell upon his life. He let me come only to bid you cease.
So now he calls me witch. It is too much. How could a son, his face, his father's glass, like in a mirror, reverse his father's good? What of my younger sons? Still in prison?
Yes, but the king allows them to be fed.
I wish I could have known Alexander. Do you know why the boy was sent from home?
When he was young, his father had a dream.
That he'd usurp his elder brother's place. Convenient prophecy, based on some ancient drama of the Greeks. Yochanan could not stand to look upon him. Now I've tired myself with too much talk. Stay if you can, but I must close my eyes.
Certainly, mother. I will stand a while. Will this be enough to buy your silence?
You may have it, my lady, free of charge.
A mercenary who will not take gold. You surely are unique among your breed. What is your name?
Lutetius, madam.
A Roman name, yet not a Roman born.
No, I was born and raised in Gaul. As a boy, I fought before my father. The Romans took me as a prize of war. I have earned my freedom, and now I serve the king.
What of your homeland do you remember?
An island in a river filled with fish. On the banks lay marshes, rich with birds.
Tell me, do you recall your mother's face?
Now, it is a little hard, only vaguely, but clearly when I sleep. It's been many years since I left home.
My mother died ere I could speak her name, and left to me no image of her face, save that which I wear graven on my own.
In Rome, such beauty is engraved in stone. My lady, you risked your life for that old woman.
I was a child when I was brought to wed. She kissed away my hurts and dried my tears. Her love has been a refuge all these years.
My lady, the king is worse, and he commands your presence.
May the face of God shine on you, mother. May God smile on you and grant you peace.
Lady, it is past time that we were gone.
I will come again as soon as I can.
What news of my brother? When does he come?
Quite soon he shall be at the city gates, resplendent in his captured panoply. His bravery has brought him great renown. The people cheer him on from town to town.
Head of an army, and I am sick in bed. Is he a danger to me, do you think?
Your brother may have become too popular. Perhaps he now aspires above his estate. It might be wise to test his loyalty.
Alert my guards to wait neath Strato's tower, for there's a dusky passage he must traverse. And tell them this is the king's command. If he's in common dress, let him pass. But if he's armed, then slay him on the spot.
As you command by me, it shall be done.
And now I bring you heavy news. My lordship's mother from this life has passed.
Baruch Dayan Hamet, may she find peace in the world to come.
But if she is dead, why am I still cursed? It seems I'm to be bled out drop by drop, like a new slaughtered calf in a butcher's stall. I shall spill no more family blood today. Eliezer, go warn my brother. Tell him when he comes to bear no arms, so that he may walk in safety past my man.